Hello everybody, my name is Zhang Guoping and I will be responsible for the first part of this presentation. My partner Guo Jianing will be responsible for the second part. Here is our topic, how to adapt to OSU as soon as possible. Recent years, many international students come to America for going to university. They meet many kind of problems and situations that they never met before. So our group's target is to finding the main direction of issues that the first-year international students may be confronted with, especially for Chinese students. The main directions that our group will discuss are academic and social life, because these two aspects are the most important things for international students to learn. The first part, academic. We divide this into two aspects, how to keep a good GPA and how to be confronted with basic study with a good condition. After reading the Chinese international students' academic stress in the United States, we got this idea from the article and our thoughts. If freshmen want to keep a good GPA, they always meet two problems, language barrier and education differences. There are four factors associated with their language barrier. The influence of Chinese language means they don't be familiar with pure English, lack of knowledge or cultural background, and lack of language training. The language training that most international students have received often failed to help them to meet the academic demand of their programs. And the last, lack of opportunity to practice their English. Many Chinese students choose to hang out with their other Chinese students instead of host nationals, which further hinders their language improvement. Also, the education differences can influence freshmen to keep a good grade, for they didn't contact with American education system before. So, as to the specific advice, Chinese students should practice their English as much as possible before coming to the USA, because English proficiency is essential to their success in American universities. Second, Chinese international students should obtain as much knowledge as possible of Western theories and terminology in their field before coming to the USA. Third, but in the United States, Chinese international students should try to socialize and actively participate in the host culture. They should adopt an integration strategy and constantly conduct a deep structure social-culture transformation. This will help Chinese students alleviate their acculturative stress and shorten their cross-culture and academic adjustment time. Next point is how to be confronted with basic study with a good condition. We conclude this idea with a thought and article Adjusting to College from North Carolina State University. Increased demand for time management, freshmen typically experience changing demand under time. These are less routine and predictable. Some freshmen feel they have no time for themselves because of their multiple obligations. College classes may seem difficult and draining and may involve more hours of studying. However, other students may find their academic workload manageable, but they may not feel confused for relaxing in their free time. So for these things, we have two advice. The first is from North Carolina State University. We should make a plan for managing ourselves, have a good rest, eating healthy food, taking more exercise, and so on. It is very important for freshmen to adjust themselves as soon as possible for being confronted with basic study. The other advice we find is from University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign. For new students, if we need help, if we feel confused, if we feel helpless, we should find someone who can give us emotional support, and thus we can have a more ideal condition for meeting with hard challenge.
Hello everyone, I'm Jianing Guo and my part is social life. There is a problem that most of our international students may meet in the future, which is that how to deal with the relationship with unfamiliar people. The first advice is that fulfill new expectations from adults. In the article NCU Adjusting to College, it suggests a solution toward the problem that I mentioned before. which is that freshmen must fulfill new expectations from adults at college. In high school, most of students are not mature, and also students are living under the protection of parents and friends, so they may not need to care about their relationship with others. However, when students come to college, things change. Students leave the protection from parents, so they need to be familiar with the society. Society contains complex relationships, so students need to deal with the unfamiliar relationship by using the point of view of adults. And the second advance is that building up trust. In the article, How to Deal with the Unfamiliar Situation, it suggests another advance. Building up trust and focusing specifically on the steps related to this can override the discomfort of unfamiliarity. Since study abroad is unfamiliar for students, which means that they need to live in an unknown environment with some unknown people. Building up trust is very important. Since you build up trust with others, you can rely on them and help each other, which can help you to easily get familiar with them. There's another problem, which is how to adapt to a new culture. When we go to United States, we will face some new American culture, and which is totally different from our hometown culture. And the first advance is to watch TV and read newspaper. In article UIUC Cross-Culture Journey for International Students, Stage of Culture Shock, it suggests an advance, which is that watching TV and reading newspapers. Watching local TV show and reading local newspaper is a good way for international students to adapt to new culture, since TV show and local newspapers will introduce some custom to students. And also, international students can be familiar with the living way of Native Americans from TV and newspaper. And the second advance is athletic activity or taking walks. In the article, adjusting to a new culture, it suggests athletic activity like team sports or taking walk may be helpful. Since joining a team sport is a good way to make local friends, which can help international students to integrate into local culture. Also, going into a new culture may make an international student feel stressful, so joining sports and taking walks allows students to relax. Then is the summary of our project, and we suggest several problems, which are how to keep a good GPA and how to keep a good grade, and how to be comfortable with a busy study with a good condition, and how to deal with the relationship with unfamiliar people. And the last problem that we suggest is how to adapt to the new culture. For the first problem, which is how to keep a good grade, we have some advice, which is that Chinese students should practice their English as much as possible, and Chinese international students should obtain as much knowledge as possible of Western theory and terminology in their field. And the third advance is, when in the United States, Chinese international students should try to socialize and actively participate in the host culture. And our second problem is how to be comfortable with busy study with a good condition. And we suggest some advice, which is to make an extra effort to take care of yourself and sharing feeling and experience with others who are understanding and supportive. For our third problem, which is how to deal with the relationship with unfamiliar people, we suggest to fulfill new expectations from adults and to building up trust with others. For our last problem, which is how to adapt to new culture. I think, and we think watching TV and reading newspaper and joining some athletic activities like team sports or taking walks may help the international student solve to solve that problem. And each student may need many kinds of issues when they first come to OSU. In this presentation, we conclude the main problems that international students may meet and the corresponding advice from other article and our ideas. So thanks for listening.